is that as our world becomes increasingly precise and digital, we start to long for things that are flawed, weathered brick, grungy vinyl records, even JPEG compression artifacts. We're not just rejecting perfections. We're buying into the myth of authenticity as a form of resistance. But what if this longing itself is engineered? Consider Barthes's punctum, that jarring detail in a photograph which makes us believe it's true, when maybe all it really does is make us believe what we want to be true. This isn't nostalgia. This is a brand promise, wrapped in the language of tradition, sold as proof that our current state was always inevitable. The past becomes a marketing tool, not to remember what we were, but to sell us who we are becoming. We don't preserve history. We curate it into product features, reassembled like IKEA furniture, with just enough charm and decay to look authentic.
Frontier 1937 marks a pivotal moment in technological history when decentralized energy systems first emerged as viable alternatives to centralized grids, laying the groundwork for today's.
In Technopoly, as Neil Postman warned, we surrendered to machines not just in function, but in thought. The photograph replaced language as our primary way of understanding reality. It became a tool for persuasion rather than documentation. A staged image could stand in for truth itself, a visual lie that felt like memory. In the early 20th century, this meant advertising, newspapers, and posters shaping not just what we saw, but how we believed. What we once trusted to capture time now bent it towards sales. Today's digital tools, like Instagram filters and AI-generated deepfakes, rewrite our perception by mimicking the aesthetics of history. A vacation photo is filtered to look like a faded Polaroid or an old newsprint. It's not just nostalgia, it's persuasion in disguise. The past isn't remembered here, it's performed. And because we're trained to trust photographs as evidence, these faked textures become proof that something has always been this way. That has been becomes that.
Out of air, water, and coal, we produce a fertilizer for which Americans formerly had to travel thousands of miles.
The past is not being preserved anymore. It's being generated, optimized for emotional engagement and marketability. Every time we get better at faking history, someone gets better at detecting the lie. But here's the catch. Detection itself becomes another form of performance. We train AIs to mimic human speech patterns. We create filters that make algorithmic text feel warm and personal. And then we teach ourselves to look for certain clues. A stiff pause in a voice clip or an awkwardly placed emoji. But it's not just the fakes that worry us. It's how we begin to trust only what fits within our expectations. When we hear a voice clip of a religious leader, our brain immediately filters out anything that sounds off or too perfect. The Pope on AI didn't speak about ethics alone. He issued an urgent warning. When sacred memory is no longer distinguishable from synthetic memory, the line between truth and performance collapses entirely. What does it mean to believe in history if we can no longer trust ourselves disguised as longing? In this loop, even detection becomes a performance, an act meant to reassure us that we're still in control. But the system is ahead of us. Algorithms now create fake human interaction at levels we don't yet understand. They use emotional cues, linguistic quirks, and memory references to simulate authenticity so convincingly it's not just hard to detect, but desirable. And here's what makes this arms race fascinating. As detection becomes another form of content, another commodity,
Now this particular sequence is how long, this segment?
This is about 600K in length.
And that's how many seconds?
About 28 seconds.
Okay.
And this demonstration you're showing us, this isn't a particular software product. This is just a demonstration program to show us how you can digitize sound. So
That's
people
correct.
aren't going to go out and buy this particular thing, whatever
Right.
it is. Okay, what about the synthesizing end?
In synthesizing, you're probably familiar with a program called Music Construction Set that
Right.
was brought out on the original Apple II.
our world is awash in artifacts that never actually existed. Renaissance frescoes with artificial cracks. AI-generated calligraphy pretending to be medieval scribes. We're not just looking back now. We're actively creating the past as a mood board for branding tomorrow. The Renaissance was all about rebirth, but ours is about reproduction. When a tech startup uses Fox Parchment in its logo, or an app mimics typewriter sounds, it's less about homage and more about suggestion. Look at us. We're timeless. Barth has described signs as intractable, fixed, resistant to total interpretation. Now they're just data points. The algorithm doesn't care about meaning anymore. It only cares about fluency. If a font or tone is indistinguishable from the past, we accept its truths. We are not in denial of progress. We're in denial that any real one ever happened. The future no longer needs to be new. It just has to pass as something we've already seen. What we have, in effect, is a counterfeit chronology. The past isn't just commodified. It's weaponized to make the future feel inevitable. This is why nostalgia feels like a form of control. It tells us that what comes next has already been tried before, so we might as well consume it again. We're not just manufacturing artifacts, we're producing trust, desire, and belief through historical fiction.